Get ready to master your life and achieve your dreams with Lifestyle Mastery, the show that will transform the way you think about personal development, business, and entrepreneurship, and explores the fascinating world of self-improvement with the guidance of the renowned expert, Dr. Sheila Smith. From mastering your mindset to building a successful business, Dr. Smith and her guests will inspire, educate, and empower you to live your best life.
Welcome to Lifestyle Mastery. I am your host, Dr. Sheila Smith, and today I have a fantastic guest you are going to learn so much from. It's going to jumpstart not only your life, but your career. So I want to read his bio, and then we're going to bring him up, and you are going to see why I am so super excited. My guest today is the one, the only, John Lee. He is an internationally renowned entrepreneur, investor, mentor, and speaker. Over the last 2 decades, John has been generating wealth through multiple streams of income and is highly passionate about helping others to do the same. John became a self-made millionaire by the age of 27 through real estate investing and building various multiple 7-figure businesses. He is the author of 3 books, including Business Hack, which teaches people how to build successful businesses in the digital age. In 2019, John took one of his companies public. John currently advises existing and aspiring entrepreneurs to grow and scale their businesses to the next level. He also mentors and coaches world-class CEOs, professional athletes, and celebrities on how to preserve and scale their wealth. As an investor, John's portfolio of companies consists of several top tech-based companies, including some that are now unicorn statuses, while all being actively involved in various new ventures, partnerships, and company acquisitions. As a highly sought-after speaker, he has shared the stage with Bill Clinton, Tony Robbins, Alan Sugar, Richard Branson, Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Robin Sharma, Mel Robbins, Deepak Chopra, Daymond John, Jack Welch, Gabby Bernstein, Eric Thomas, Brian Tracy, Michael Gerber, you see this list? John Assaraf, John Demartini, Jay Abraham, Marissa Peer, Sharon Lechter, and Randi Zuckerberg. John has also been featured in Forbes, The Wall Street Journal, Sunday Times, Huffington Post, Channel News Asia, Fortune Magazine, Edge, the BBC, and was awarded Man of the Year in 2017 by Global Women Magazine, garnering him viewership in the millions, as well as global network and community over 6 million social media followers and students from all over the world. Here he comes. He's coming to the stage. Welcome, John Lee.
Wow, Sheila, I wish everyone could introduce me like that around the world. What an incredible introduction. Thank you so much for having me on the show. And, you know, it's such an honor to be here to really impact the next generation of entrepreneurs and really to help people have the mindset to be able to achieve anything they want in life. And this is what I love about the work that you're doing with Life Mastery, to master those skills, to really become the best version of you. So I'm excited about this.
I'm excited to have you as a student, and I look at you as my coach, my mentor. I've traveled to Bali to see you. It was just that important for me to be in your presence. And that's where I got my book, which you all should get it because it is chock full of nuggets. I met you, and you didn't know this, but I met you 3 years ago on this Clubhouse app. And I stayed in the audience for a long time, just listening, and to all of the gems and the jewels that you drop, and you don't even realize how effortlessly you do it. I just want you to help the audience today. I just want you to help them. And I just want you to have free reign to just talk about what's on your heart, because I know it's going to be valuable.
Well, I think, if we're talking about becoming, like, some of the lessons that people always ask me is, what does it take to create success? And, you've heard me talk about this in the past, and when we're in Bali together, we talked about not just having the knowledge, because everyone can have knowledge, right? Everyone can go read a book, everyone can go attend a course, but actually it's what you do with that knowledge. It's the action that you take. It's the implementation that you make. And so for me, Dr. Sheila, I always think about people who create success. If they want to master their life, it doesn't matter what age you're at, if you're over the age of 40, if you're starting off, if you just graduated, if you have just retired, we want to get to a point where we can really look at what are the little shifts that we can make that can really help you grow to the next level. And for me, it's always this journey of always learning, always having the thirst for curiosity to learn. Actually, what I don't know is what I don't know.
Yeah.
And my goals now is to really search and explore the world and find what are some of the things that are out there that I don't know that can really make a dramatic impact to my life. For example, I'm wearing one of these right now. So these are a glucose monitor, right? Okay. So I didn't realize how much nutrition affects your cognitive thinking and the amount of action that you take. Actually, one of the reasons why people don't take action is because their nutrition stops them from taking action. I don't know. Have you ever, I don't know if you experience this, anyone listening to this right now, like you want to do something, your mind, your intention wants to do something, but for some reason you just can't take that action. You ever felt like that before?
I have.
Well, it's interesting to monitor what you're eating and the order in which you eat it. So if you want to master our life, you want to create the great lifestyle. Lifestyle comes from your health, your vitality, and from your impact. So when people ask me, well, John, what is your impact? What do you do it every single day? Well, first of all, when you wake up in the morning, right, you want to master your lifestyle, go for a walk, get that early morning sunshine, right? Because something magical happens when you're breathing in fresh air. And actually, this is where breath work comes into this. A lot of people are not spending enough time breathing the right way.
Ooh.
So it's important that people are starting to breathe, and they call it the 5-point system. 5 seconds in. So you can do this with me. So we go 5 seconds in, hold for 5 seconds, and breathe out for 5 seconds. And what happens is, again, if we want to master our life to achieve the maximum that we can in our life, we have to be in a state that allows us to do that in a way that doesn't have any resistance, because too much resistance stops us from taking action. Our thoughts lead to our feelings, lead to our actions, lead to our results. That's why now, I've got a very nice watch collection, but the only thing I wear now is my Apple Watch, right? Because my Apple Watch tells me my sleep, tells me, what I should be doing if I'm sitting down too long, if I need to move. Actually, people should be moving every 5 minutes, because actions creates motion, creates actions, create results. So actually a secret hack for this, if you want to master your life, is actually to start doing things that are not directly linked to the thing that you want to do, but actually makes an impact in what you want to do. For example, the healthier you get, the more energy you get, the more you're going to follow through. And so I find for a lot of the times people, they are not fully focused on what they need to focus on to actually get the results. Sometimes it's something completely different. And so for me, taking massive action, and that's why I always want to wear, you need to monitor your sleep, your heart rate, your oxygen in your blood. So for example, if the oxygen in your blood right now is low, your cognitive thinking will be affected. So we have to make sure that we're always doing things that allow us to create maximum output with as little or leveraged effort that's out there.
I love that. I'm learning so much already. And I actually do my Apple Watch. but I know about the steps because it'll tell you to get up. You're sitting too long to move, but I didn't know it does the heart rate and all of that stuff. I got to look into that part.
Yeah, heart rate, blood oxygen level as well. So you know how much oxygen is actually in your body. So if it starts dropping to like 90, you know, you want to start, like you'll find that when you're starting to get a little bit scared, anxiety, you start to get, you know, uncomfortable feeling, notice your breathing. You're not breathing properly. You're doing very shallow breathing when it should be deep breathing that gets it into every cell of our body, because there's only three things that allow ourselves to achieve massive success and massive output. And your cells need oxygen, nutrition, and of course, hydration. That's why I have a massive bottle of water with me all the time. I drink 2 of these as well. And by the way, a little tip, if you're not drinking enough water, buy about 4 or 5 bottles, leave them in every single room of your house. So it doesn't matter where you are. You just, okay, I'm thirsty. I'm going to drink, you see? So that way you definitely get your hydration in.
Yeah, we know you for that. You're all, I mean, even on the 3-day, you know, seminars that you do, here comes the water. We hear it. And so that inspires me to run and go get my bottle when I hear you do that. That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, so lifestyle comes from 3 things. Health. So make sure that you, 1, have the energy to follow through. 2 is curiosity to keep learning things, because the more that you learn, the more that you earn. And the 3rd thing, which is super important, is connection. This is more than ever now, of course, you know, post-pandemic, when people were kind of locked at home and they were lonely. Now we want that sense of connection. So I advise everyone, if you want to live a fulfilled life, start moving to the areas where you can connect with the people to really have that sense of community. It's why I still continue to fly around the world, run retreats in Bali. So I get to build that network and really build that community.
I love that. Can you talk about the MSI and the JL Club? Because I want my audience to know about these things that you offer, because I know it's helped me and it will help them.
Yeah. So many years ago, you know, one of the ways I became, I guess, knowledgeable in the things that I do is because I had a mentor. But my mentor, he wasn't free. My mentor, I literally had to sell my car and pay this person, you know, £10,000 for 2 days of his time. And so what he taught me in those 2 days just completely changed my life. It was a way of thinking that is not thinking completely differently, but thinking objectively in disruption, meaning how can you do something that's going to get you a faster result, quicker, cheaper, and make it so that it's easy to follow through. But of course, not everybody has that luxury. So when I started Clubhouse, I was doing these rooms every day, talking about different topics on, you know, how do you be more productive? How do you, you know, become the best version of you? How do you start a business? I mean, all these different sort of factors. And what I realized is that people would reach out to me and say, John, I heard you on Clubhouse. I wondered if you could be my mentor. And so I started, you know, giving me my number and contacting me on WhatsApp and DMs, until such point I was getting hundreds of messages every single day. I said, this is incredible. This is crazy. So I basically had to say to people, look, I just don't have the time. My time just doesn't allow me to be able to do this. It was actually taking away a lot of time from the things that I was doing in my business. So then I said to people, I said, look, why don't you just ask me a question and I'll just record you the answer to it. They said, well, John, how do I get more followers on social media? You've got 6 million people following you. Like, how do you do that? So I record a video, because look, one person would ask me the question and then someone else would ask me the same question. So, you know, just watch this video. And so what I realized is I'll take a lot of time filming these videos. And when I would send it to people, guess the percentage of people, of all the people that would send this video to, how many would actually watch it? Less than 10%. Oh. Less than 10%. I'm like, okay, so I feel like I'm wasting my time. So then I said, you know what? What I realized is when I had a mentor, and I still have lots of mentors today, when you pay for something, you pay attention. and you take action and you value it more. So I said, you know what? If people really are serious, let me just charge a token amount. You know, people always say, John, can you take me out for a coffee? I'll buy you coffee, pick your brains. Okay, let's just see if people would be willing to buy me a coffee, right? And so I said, you know what? I've got this training. I'll record a video. Just to make sure that you do actually watch it, because it's going to be really, really useful to you. I'm going to have to charge you, right? And we charged a token amount of $7, right? So what I realized, the people that paid the $7 were actually the people that watch it, and the ones that don't, some of them watch it. Not everybody does. And so that's when I had this big aha epiphany moment, Sheila, is that when people pay, they pay attention.
Yes.
And the more people pay, the more people pay attention. So for example, you joined me in Bali for 3 days and you invested a sizable amount. Now look at you. You now have your own podcast, your own show, you got your own book, you're helping lots of people out there. It's incredible to be able to see that. But what I realize is that there's too many people that want everything for free. And by the way, there's nothing. I have and if you go to johnlee.com, there are lots of content there for free. If you go to my YouTube channel, my Instagram, there's lots. I even run events that are free.
That's right.
But there was one time I had an event and we had over 3,000 people registered. And when I put the event out there, we had like 500 people that showed up from 3,000 people. So there were lots of like empty seats with like my brochures and things on there and goodie bags. And like, God, this is such a waste of time. But you know what? Every time I charge, we always have a full house. So this is why part of me is like, I want to give content to people because I know it's going to be valuable for them. And why would I do that? Why would I spend all my time doing that? Because my business model is to help people get to a certain level, and then I would partner with them, like what I'm doing with you now. I mean, a lot of people request podcasts and interviews and things like that, and we always turn it down. But when your one came through, it's like, of course, we've met in person. We've spent time together. I know you. I know that you're serious about your work. I'm going to come on here. And of course, then I'm going to share this on social media as well. So this is what I'm saying, that it's always about building the relationship. And I find too many people are not willing to invest in themselves, and they're also not willing to build that relationship as well.
I love that. And you know why I love that? When I heard you tell that story about the $10,000 and you had to sell your car, that made me, that kind of convicted me. And I said, well, if he did that, and that was years ago, I'm going to go see him and spend 40 hours each way between the planes and the airports to come see you. And
that's how I knew you were going to be successful. Because if someone's willing to travel 40 hours and take multiple flights to fly to a destination halfway around the world, that person's serious. And that's why you always hear me say this: you do whatever it takes. Right? You do whatever it takes. And when you have that do whatever it takes mentality, anything is possible, because how you do anything is how you do everything.
That's it. I was going to say it with you too. I love that. So what is the difference? And you're going to laugh when I ask you this question. What is the difference between JL.club and MSI.club?
So when I started, so there's a few things, right? Because a lot of people always come to me for business advice, right? It's either business advice or investing advice. It's either one of the two. And so when people come to me and say, John, I want to know how to make my business successful. Well, the easiest way to do that is very simply to just, I mean, this sounds very basic, right? But you just need to get more people to know who you are. That's it. That's actually the big secret. Right? Most people are invisible. That's why they don't make any money. Right? So I always say to people, always get the exposure. Always learn to market yourself. Always learn to promote yourself. Let a lot of people know who you are. Instead of you having to go and knock on other people's doors, everybody's knocking on your door. And this is, for me, the biggest revelation that I had, because it doesn't matter if you've got the best product, the best service. The best known will always beat the best. The best known will always be the best. That's why I created JL.club, because I wanted people to learn. People actually, when they go to it, we've had people graduate from huge universities paying like marketing degrees, and they said, John, you're the first 10 pieces of training that I went through is like they don't even teach that in business school. So that's why I created JL.club, to kind of know all the things that I learned, like things with AI. You've got generative AI now, where I can take your background and I can change all the things in your background. You've got automated content creation. You've got even for those people who are in business, the AI will go and find the customers for you now. So you don't even have to do any real marketing anymore. So things like that, I always want to be on the cutting edge of. That's why I spend a lot of time in Silicon Valley. Right? A lot of my friends, Silicon Valley, Singapore, Asia, Dubai, like these places are like the top. Like they know everything, all the latest things that are coming, and is usually implemented 6 months before. So I always like to, get that knowledge, and that's what I put into JL.club, right? So that's really all about marketing and branding. Whereas MSI.club, what I realized from hanging around a lot of millionaires and billionaires is that they have more than one income stream, right? So for example, like myself, I don't just want to, like, if you're in a job, you have something called earned income, right? So let's say you get paid, $100 per hour. I put this time in 1 hour, I get $100 back. That's it, right? But if you're now able to do the second part, which is what we call passive income generation. So what we do is we turn out earned income and we convert it into passive income. So how do we do that? So you have to either build a vehicle or put your money into a vehicle that creates income for you. For example, real estate. That's why I love to buy real estate, because I can rent the property out and it makes me money and it pays all the money back that I put into the property. And now all that money afterwards is free. Once we've done that, we've now got earned income, and now we have passive income. And you always hear me say, like business creates cash flow, but investments create wealth. So now we take two incomes, one income we use to live and the other income we use to invest. So now you can never go broke doing that. So that's why I invest in companies in a pre-seed round, Series A, Series B, right through to IPO, taking a company public, doing all these different sort of investment strategies to be able to either buy companies, acquire companies, merge companies, take a company to a listing. So that's actually where the money is made. So these are the three things that I recommend. That you want to create an ultimate lifestyle, you want to master your lifestyle, this is what you got to do.
Now I'm going to ask you a question. I'm glad you tapped into that real estate part. So what would you tell someone that has very little money? What strategy would you give them for purchasing a home, if any?
So let's say you got no money now, but you want to, okay, so let's say I come to you, all right, and I say, hey, Sheila, I've got a deal in London. It's worth 2 million, but I'm buying it for 1.5 million. So the day we buy it, we make 1.5, we buy it for 1.5, we make $500,000 cash in equity. So I will do all the work. So let's pretend I'm starting out. I don't have any funds, right? I don't have that much experience, but all my goal is to basically acquire the asset. So here's one of the most powerful lessons I learned. And the 10,000 that I paid for 2 days of training with Ying Tan was worth every single penny from this one phrase. Listen to this. It's not about using money to buy property. It's about using skills to buy property. Because when you find the deal, the money will find you.
Oh my.
And that's when I had this moment. Right? So what that means is I can go and do the deal and you would just put the money in. And in exchange, we do a 50-50. That's all people got to do. They don't even need to take a mortgage deposit. They just struck. You see, what I realized with hanging around with, here's the difference between millionaires and billionaires, right?
Okay.
Millionaires is all about how do I make more sales? How do I scale a business? How do I take it to the next level? Billionaires is how do I work as at the least time as possible and make the most money? Wow. Right? How can I, instead of working 40-hour weeks or 80-hour weeks? How can I work 5 hours and still have the same output as someone who's working 80 hours? And so what I learned from my billionaire friends, they say to me, John, it's all about how you structure the deal. It's how you structure it. And that's when I learned that, everything changed. Everything changed.
So are you going to put some of those teachings in MSI or JL.club?
Well, they'll probably be on the, well, I have different levels. For example, so I have people, if people don't have any business, they're like, John, I'm completely new to this. I don't know what to do. Take all my free stuff. I got lots of free stuff. You can go and you can take massive action with it. I've got lots of videos, full trainings, everything. Just do that. Now, when you start to get some traction, you go, actually, I tried this. This is working. I'm making a little bit of money. Then I would recommend people attend some of my more intensive trainings. So these like 3-day immersions where I'm really not just teaching, but I'm actually showing and doing, and then they're going to implement it. So that's really important. So at that point, if you're just starting off and you have no business, take all the free stuff. The second stage is if you're going from 0 to like 100 grand, right? And you kind of getting some traction in between that range, then take some of the training programs, right? And then once you do say, 0 to 1 million, when you start hitting that 1 million mark, then I would recommend that, people look at structuring deals the right way. So that's why I'm doing a lot of equity plays. So people will say to me, John, can you be my mentor? Yes, on these conditions. So I have a criteria. Do you meet this criteria, this criteria? If it's yes, brilliant. Let's partner together. Let's collaborate. And so I that I have a sort of inner circle, a platinum and all these things, but that's really for people at different levels.
Wonderful. So now I'm going to ask you, and this is going to sound like a clubhouse room, the top 10 ways. No, I want to hear about the AIs, the new AIs other than chat GPTs, because I know you did a room talking about that. I think that in our last 20 minutes or so, can you go through that top list of AI tools that are not chat GPT?
Yeah, I mean, there are so many of them. And you've got Midjourney. So Midjourney, anyone can now be an artist. Midjourney, in my opinion, is probably the thing that replaces designers. Literally, I can write with my words. Draw me a car in Mars with a man and a woman sat on the bonnet, looking at the stars with a meteorite coming down, about to hit the earth, right? And they can see it. So it will basically design it how you want it to design. So you also have that. You also have 11 Labs, which is basically for voice cloning. So I'm currently in the process of cloning myself on how to basically take all the words, all my teachings, put it into generative AI, into the language transformers to basically give it context. Because if you look at language models, if I say to ChatGPT, write me an email, what?
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't know what to write an email on. But I say, write me an email about creating lifestyle mastery. It has some context. And then I say, okay, write me an email from Dr. Sheila Smith about lifestyle mastery and put all of her podcasts and use that as context. So it will basically be able to clone you to about 90%. So 11 Labs is really good. You've got addcreative.ai. For those of you looking to market your companies, it can basically market and write ads for you, which is really good. That convert really high. Those of you that don't want to show your face on camera, there's a software called HeyGen. HeyGen can basically map your face and turn you into an AI avatar. And now they can also do gestures. So it will take all my video footage. So, if I'm doing things like this and things like this, it will basically not just, because most AI avatars is just your face talking like this. Now you've got body avatar as well. So that's also pretty cool. You've got VSL.ai, which can basically write a sales letter for you. And it's insane because it can contextualize it. So if I want to write an ad for this calculator, right, and it says it's John Lee's calculator, it will basically put all that context in there to be able to sell it. You've also got Score App, which can now teach you how to generate high quality leads to qualify. So actually, a lot of people that want to partner with me or want me to help them scale their business, we have them take a scorecard and it basically answers some questions, and it will mark people if you're ready, if you're not ready, or if you qualify. So if you're not ready, hey, go and watch all this free stuff. If you're sort of in between, come and attend a course. If you are at a good level, brilliant. Let's do some mentoring together. All right. So we have that. You've got Runway ML. So Runway ML can bring your pictures to life. So let's say I do a picture like this. I can basically take this picture and say, make John Lee point, and then it will just animate and it'll animate me like this from a picture. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, there's so many. I mean, we'd probably be here all day talking about. But again, a lot of the things that I put online, a lot of the trainings that I do talk a lot about this stuff.
That is awesome. Now, can you give 10 ways to reach $1,000?
Oh, man, there's so many different ways. Well, first of all, I'll give you one easy way. Right? Okay. So you have to think out this calculation. 1,000 times 1,000 equals 1,000,000. Mm-hmm. So that means you need 1,000 clients, and you need to have something to sell for $1,000. And if you divide it by 52, right? If you take 1,000, that's 19 sales you need a week. So actually, how do you make, and by the way, that's 1,000,000. So if you want to make 1,000, you basically divide it by 10, right? So you don't really need that. So then you have 1,000 or 100 times 100. That's 10,000, right? So it all I do is I just take a calculator. I'll do 1,000, let's say, divided by 50. So if I can sell 20 things at $50, then I can make 1,000, right? So there's all these different ways you can start thinking about, you can do ebooks, you can do courses, you can do consulting, you can do affiliate marketing, partnership marketing, you can do sponsored ads, you can do influencer deals, you can do collaboration deals, partnerships, you can do a done for you process, which is actually one of the best, and also memberships. Memberships are really good as well. If you can create a membership and just charge $7 a month, right, and you get 1,000 people, you make $7,000 a month. Or if you want to make an extra $1,000 a month, right, 1,000 divided by, let's say you charge something for $5, you only need to have 200 people that pay you $5 a month, and you make $1,000. That's it. It's not hard.
What is a done for you program? What is that?
A done for you is, so let's say you come to me and say, hey, John, I want you to, write me an email sequence, right? So I would create that email sequence and say, okay, I'll do it for you, but you pay me X. So that's what we call a done for you. So actually, a lot of you can use all the AI stuff that I told you right now. You can basically create anything for somebody. And then what happens is you just charge them because now you've done it for them.
Wow. Wow. That's powerful. So what are you doing now? Can you tell us what you're working on now, where you're going, what you're doing?
So for me, it's really finding people who have great energy, who I resonate with. And what I'm looking for is for more partners to be able to work with. I've spent many years building one company to take it public. But actually, if I could turn back time, I would have said, you know what, let me work with 100 people and take all those companies to the next level. You see, if you want to create a $1 billion company, if you have 100 companies that all make, or even 10 companies, right, that make 100 million each, right? That's really my goal now, is to make sure that if anyone listening to this, they're making over $1 million a year gross in sales and things like that, then I ask them to reach out to me, because I want to help take that company from, say, 1 million to 10 million to 50 million to 100 million and beyond. So that's really what I want to really work with now, is instead of spending all my time with and building a company from scratch, I'd rather work with great entrepreneurs who have that fire in their belly and now advise these companies in exchange for equity. So that's what I'm working. That's why I put out a lot of content. That's why I do a lot of events. Every time I speak at a large event with thousands of people, someone always reach out and say, hey, John, I got this company. It's about to do this. Would you like to partner? Sure. It's leverage.
When is the next time you're going to be in the US?
To be confirmed. To be confirmed. But you know that we always do our retreats in Bali in December.
That's right.
So if you want to come along, because it's interesting because a lot of people who attended last time, half of those people are coming back. So it's going to be amazing because those people that come back, you see how they've grown, right? And so now we can really take them to the next level. So that's what I always say is that, for me, reason why I go to Bali or Asia, we might choose somewhere different, but I think Bali is like one of my most favorite places. And you know why, because it's paradise.
Oh my gosh.
Paradise. So for us, it's for me and my team to go and mastermind what I'm going to do for the year after. But wouldn't it be great if I've got people around me who are joining that process and maybe coming along for the ride as well? So that's why I always like to do those retreats, because it's very small, it's very intimate, and it's, even though it's 3 days, it's like 4 days from like 7 o'clock till 11 p.m. at night, from morning till night, with together masterminding ideas.
When I'll never forget sitting in the room, and we're all around like almost like a horseshoe, and you talked about the 90-day high and I think it was a 30-day low.
Yes.
I said, okay, I'm ready to go home now, because that was such a game changer. Can you talk briefly about that?
Well, that is only knowledge for our private community. And, because you've got to have you can't just, I mean, you spent 3 days, so there's a lot of context behind it. Like if I just say it now in 5 seconds, people won't understand and they'll probably do it wrong. So they'll need to really spend that time to really understand it, manage the risks, and also know what you're playing with.
It was the best. I tell you, that was the best experience I've ever. When I went home, when I was flying back, it didn't even feel like it was 40 hours. It felt like it was 5, because I just kept replaying all of those things. And from a trip like that, it puts fire in you, and it puts fire under your feet, and it makes you say, okay, I got to figure this out. I got to do something. What am I passionate about? And run with it. And I just threw caution to the wind and said, take massive action. That is what you always say on Clubhouse. Take massive action. Can you talk about the massive action that people will need to take to get to the next level?
Well, massive action is not doing things when you want to do it. Massive action actually needs to feel hard. If you're doing something that's easy, that's not massive action. If you're doing something and you're like, oh God, this is really hard, or this is like, I don't get this, I don't understand it, I feel frustrated, that's massive action. Because look, one of the things I got inspired by Steve Jobs, and he said, if you wake up every single morning and look yourself in the mirror and you're unhappy, then something needs to change. And so for me, it's like, if I'm not pushing myself every single day, if I am not expanding my mind to its fullest, then I'm not living.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not living. Like you want to start living instead of existing in life. And to live means that you are learning more, you are being more, you are doing more, you are achieving more, you are succeeding more, you're inspiring the people around you, you're creating that ripple effect that can ripple into generations. And that is why I do what I do.
Oh. And there's a passion in your voice. We can even hear it on Clubhouse. You love teaching. You are what I consider a master teacher. And I just want everyone, and I implore you, take copious notes, go back and keep listening to this, take the notes and take massive action, because you're sitting there doing nothing, but then you're questioning, well, why isn't anything happening? You have to take massive action. And John is giving, just simple strategies on how to begin, how to move forward, and to make something happen. Would you agree?
Yeah, look, every day, my goal is to create something, a piece of content that people can listen to. That's why I have my Telegram channel. That's why on Instagram now you have your broadcast channel. I just put out tips, right? My goal is to really inspire as many people as I can to at least get to that, 6-figure, 7-figure mark. And then after that, contact me. Let me know you want to partner, right? Because if you can prove you can get to 7 figures, then it's not that hard to get to 5 to 10, 100. It's just a matter of scale, but strategic scale and also partnerships as well.
Wow. So what would a partnership look like with you? Like if someone says, okay, I got this, I made it here, then what? They contact you how?
Well, I'll give you an example. So one of my students, his name is Mark Leon. He's based down in Singapore, and he came to me some 8 years ago. And his business was literally on the brink. Literally, if in that month he didn't do anything, his business would be over. Oh, so I gave him some simple strategies. I said, look, just do this, 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 and this. And he did. And he started to get some results. And he went through, the trainings. He went through the coaching. And what I love about Mark is that when you tell him to do something, he does it. He doesn't just ponder and go, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Like these are massive action takers. And that's, first of all, for me to work for them, they've got to prove that can they implement the things that I tell them to do and do it right. And so he did. And so 8 years on, to cut long story short, because I don't want to bore everybody listening to this. No. But he had an offer from a big food company. I won't name the name, but they offered him $72 million to buy the company. Oh my 72 God. Million USD to buy his company, because he created this community. He created this network, and they wanted to buy it basically for that community network and the list. Remember, I always say that data is a new currency. That's right. There it is, right there. And so for him, the way we partner together, he now wants to do a listing. So I'm now talking to him about, okay, how here's what you need to figure out. Here's how you do your fundraise. Here's how you put your corporate governance together. So I'm really he's coming to me as an advisor. And of course, what's in it for me is, first of all, I want to see my students succeed. But secondly, I want that person to be able to see what's not possible to become possible. He never even had that on his radar before he met me, right? And now he's like thinking big. I'm like, wow, he's created this whole metaverse. He's acquiring companies, buying companies now. I love it. It's just incredible to see people do that. And so now, guess what? He's now got a portfolio of companies. I have a portfolio of companies. Now we can exchange. Because if I have vested interest in every single company in that company, then I'm creating an ecosystem to feed each one into each one. So that's a good example. Another one, as you know, is Shannon. So Shannon, she joined me in Bali. And I think her first she was on a 6-figure salary. She quit her job, 6-figure salary. And when she came to Bali, she didn't tell me this, but she took a loan out to do that. And I thought, wow, this is like doing whatever it takes. And I think she was telling me in the first 3 to 6 months, she'd made like $600,000, right? Just using some of the strategies. Then she started and partnered with 4 partners in another company and did another 15 million. So it's like, what people come to me for is actually not the knowledge. It's actually, how do I structure deals? How do I structure the frameworks? Because it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Everyone knows content, but not everybody knows the structure, right? And it's the structure and how you do things. For example, people think you need money to buy businesses. You don't. You need structure to buy businesses, right? Same with real estate. People think you need a lot of money to buy real estate. No, you don't. You need an option to buy real estate, right? So that would be another example. So I can keep going on, but for me, partnership is different, but it does involve, we have a very small admin fee that people would pay just to, cover the admin. And of course, we would also get equity in exchange for the company. And that would be above anything there. So let's say a company's already doing $1 million, right? So, well, John, if I give you this much percentage of $1 million, don't I earn less? No. So whatever people come to me for at where they are, anything above what they are, I would get a cut from.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Any last words you would like your audience to know? I have your website on the screen, johnlee.com. That was a wonderful story too about that website.
Yeah, maybe we save that for another time. Yeah, look, I'll just say to people, first of all, Dr. Sheila, thank you for having me on the show as well, and the work that you're doing to really inspire the next generation. Of course, people who are, trying to give up on their dreams, no matter what age you are, that you're able to inspire them and have incredible people share their stories and their vision. So, if you're not, following the work that Dr. Sheila is doing, check out some of the programs, check out some of the books that she's got as well. And also share this podcast when you hear this, share it with people. If you're listening to it, you got some value from this, you felt some inspiration, a little spark, then you need to think about who else do I know that needs that spark, and just forward her podcasts and her shows to people so they can also be inspired as well. Because when two people inspire, you inspire together, you take action together, you get more results. So I would highly recommend that. Also, if anyone, again, if you are just starting off, I have a lot of free content out there. Go to johnlee.com, typing John Lee on all social media platforms. It's all free. You can join my broadcast channel for free as well. I always give daily tips in there. But if you're wanting to sort of accelerate that, you're getting some results, you kind of got an idea of what you want to do, then I would recommend that people join some of the training programs. So we have a lot of free events. We also have paid events. And then if you already have a business and you are looking to take it to, let's say, 6 or 7 figures, right, then I would recommend you join some of the mentoring programs that we have. So once people hit that 7-figure mark, then I'm happy to explore the opportunities of partnerships and collaborations.
Outstanding. It has been an honor and delight to have you on, John Lee. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.
Thanks for joining us on Lifestyle Mastery with Dr. Sheila Smith. We hope that the insights, tips, and tools shared in this episode have inspired and empowered you to take control of your personal and professional life. Remember, personal development and entrepreneurship are a journey, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Keep applying the strategies and techniques you've learned, and never stop striving for your dreams. We'd love to hear from you. Please share your feedback and success stories on our website or social media platforms. And don't forget to subscribe to Lifestyle Mastery for even more expert insights and inspiration. Thanks again for being a part of our community. We look forward to continuing this journey of growth and success with you. And we'll see you again on our next episode.